and that way you can let us know anything we need to know as we go forward with this.
We'll be pretty good about, Justin is going to moderate our chat, and we'll put links to websites and places that may answer questions more quickly than we're able to throughout the day. A couple other things, quick reminder, if you don't want to be recorded, just turn your video off. That would be will be fine, and we'll make sure and get this to everybody. So I'm going to run through a couple of quick slides about the new student orientation experience, which is one of the first things that you will get to do when you arrive on campus. And for us, orientation is really about a week-long process out of our office, starting when our orientation leaders move in. So we will have about 250 students, returning students, helping us with new student orientation and providing you some great welcome to campus when you begin to arrive on Wednesday, August 26th. New students will check in on the 26th, 27th, and 28th, and we will have orientation events, activities, small group sessions, starting on the day that you move in all the way through Monday, August 31st. The way we've got orientation set up is that most small group sessions will happen in the morning. And what we've designed orientation to be with this phased move-in over 3 days is that you won't miss any opportunities. If you move in on Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, you will have an orientation experience that sets you up for success at Gonzaga. So just because you're moving in Wednesday doesn't mean that your orientation experience has different content than if you move in on Friday. Afternoons during orientation will be divided into 2 different opportunities. Some of those we are calling affinity groups. And Dr. T will talk a little bit more about what that means for honor students, because we've got a special affinity group just for honor students. And then we'll be doing some experiential opportunities for folks in the afternoon as well. So your day is basically chunked into kind of 3 parts: some small group, some affinity sessions, and some experiential opportunities on each day of orientation. Those small groups we're calling the How to Zag sessions. And those will be led by an orientation leader. The first year experience office will put you into an orientation group that'll have about 8 to 10 other new students in them. And we'll be presenting some content with that, facilitating some discussion, and everybody will get a How to Zag workbook that will allow you to take notes, do some reflection, write down those questions and to-do lists and things that you need to accomplish. Topics for that will include our academic core, some connection to mission and ministry, and our the mission of the institution. Zags Help Zags. We'll do some talk about COVID specific, because that seems to be something we need to be recognizing and working through, transition, and then commitment to social justice and solidarity. So those will be the topics of our How to Zag sessions. And then we've got affinity groups for everyone, and those will be groups of 10 to 15, and I'll let Dr. T share a little bit about what we've got planned for honor students.
So our main goals with the affinity groups is that we want you to have a chance to meet all of the other honor students, the ones that you are coming in with your class. We also have a number of our current honor students who will be acting as student leaders, so you'll get to know them really well as well. Community is really important to us in the honors program. It's a support network. It's an intellectual community. Hopefully you will make friends that you will keep for your entire life in the honors program. And we really want to use the affinity groups in the afternoon as a time to start that process. We also want to craft some events that are designed to help you make the transition from high school to college, and specifically to start thinking about what it means to be a university level honors student. It's not going to be all about grades anymore. It's not going to be all about filling up your resume. It's going to be about finding how to be a deep learner, learning about what your learning opportunities and learning styles are, finding your passion, and helping you craft the college experience that lets you do what you want to do in this world. Be the kind of men and women for others, and have a transformative experience here at Gonzaga. So we've got some activities prepared to help you start thinking about who you want to be as a college student. And finally, we want to set you up for success in our honors first year block, which is going to be 2 linked classes, the first year seminar and then a writing and communication class. There'll be content shared between the 2, but all of these classes are focused on using Spokane itself as a laboratory. So we'll have a chance for us to take small walking excursions out into the city, along the river, into the Logan neighborhood, which is the neighborhood that Gonzaga is in. We also will have a list of readings chosen for you by the first year faculty. They're short readings that are just either things we want students to know that we think will make them have a better college experience, or things that we're fascinated with right now. And we'll have some small group discussions with the faculty to talk about those readings and why we chose them, why they're meaningful for us, how you're responding to them. So those are some of the ideas, some of what we will be doing with you in those afternoon affinity sessions. And we'll have it set up so that you can sign up for the ones that you're interested in. And that way you'll have a choice of what works best for you.
Again, if you have questions or comments about those things, make sure you're throwing them up in the Q&A section. We'll get to those in a little bit. So we also, again, I mentioned the experiential opportunities. We've been asking colleagues, student leaders from a variety of places around campus to submit options and things that we can do with experiential programming for y'all. And so these are still being developed, but I've seen opportunities for things again like jazz dancing, which is around the last bullet point there. Maybe some opportunities to kayak on the river if that's of interest to you. You know, again, these are still being developed, but this will be a way for you to engage with folks that might have similar interests to you. Explore something new that maybe you have never done before but are excited about doing or interested in doing, and they'll all be again options that are only for incoming students with this. So experiential opportunities late in the afternoon. We will open a registration process for the affinity groups and the experiential opportunities on August 1st. So what Dr. T mentioned about your ability to choose sections or opportunities that you're looking to participate in, those kinds of things, we will have that registration open August 1st so that you will each day be able to have an understanding of what sessions you've signed up for, what affinity groups you're going to, or affinity group you're going to, those kinds of things that will allow us to build your unique orientation experience for you at GU. So make sure you're checking your ZAG mail for how to instructions on how to make that registration happen.
We will have, if I can just jump in for a second.
Yeah, go ahead, Lynn.
We will have honors affinity groups specifically for you, but we are setting this up so that you have maximum flexibility. We don't want you, because you're in honors, to not be able to participate in any of the experiential events. So we are working to keep that as open and flexible as possible so that you get both the full campus experience and also get to join into the honors community.
We have a couple of Hallmark programs, things that are always a part of our new student orientation that will also be a part of our programming this year. Sunday morning for all faith or spiritual journeys, if you want to attend Mass, we will have a affectionately known as Mass on the Grass an outdoor experience for worship on that Sunday morning. We also will host an academic convocation on non-COVID years. This typically would occur in large groups, but what we're working toward this year is that we will live stream our convocation event into classrooms, and those classrooms will have faculty, staff, or students perhaps gathered with you in that time for convocation. And convocation is it's kind of the official ringing in of the new academic year. It's one of those traditions in higher education that I love. It's full of banners and faculty and full regalia and inspiring speakers for that always gear me up to be ready for the academic year. So convocation is something we will do again this year as well. And then we also have everybody has an opportunity or an expectation during orientation that you will meet with your academic advisor. So more information for that will come out in August, but you do have the opportunity to meet with your advisor during orientation weekend.
And again, if I can jump in, as an honors student, you will have an overwhelming number of advisors potentially. So every honors student is being paired with a faculty member in the area that you've expressed interest in. So if you've said that you're planning to go into engineering, we have engineering faculty who have a relationship with the honors program, who understands how the honors curriculum matches with the engineering program and with the university core and can help guide you through that. You'll also have meetings with me and with Dr. Eric Schmidt, who's the Associate Director of Honors. So we can act as your honors advisors as well and give you another friendly face and open door to ask questions about.
So a couple of things, because a lot of the questions that we are currently getting are questions about university response to COVID and what is campus going to look like in the fall, and how are we navigating, what plans are we making. And so wanted to give you just a little bit of information about that and point you in the direction of the ZAG On website. ZAG On is kind of how we've branded or labeled our COVID response plan. And the website has question or responses to a bunch of FAQs, links to how we've structured a pandemic response task force, some announcements and messages, resources, and a way for you to submit specific questions that you may have about your particular experience or needs related to COVID. If you don't want to do a couple of components of that, we are very focused on health and safety. Every message that has come out, every the planning team that I've been a part of is focusing on the health, safety, and welfare of our students, faculty, and staff, as well as the local community. We take that responsibility very seriously, and that's how we're leading every conversations. And then this task force that I mentioned is developing the plans and how that will roll out. Dr. T might be able to talk a little bit more about kind of what that will mean for what they're thinking for honors classes. We're doing this phased move in, and I see at least one question in the chat or in the Q&A about that. We can talk about that a little bit. And our phased move in is really designed so that we don't have large groups of people moving into the same building at the same time. So it's about physical distancing for us in reducing the amount of traffic at a particular time in a particular place. And then classes will begin on September 1st and conclude on December 11th. And we're asking students who go home for Thanksgiving to finish their coursework in virtual settings and take finals virtually. If you stay, there'll be opportunity. You don't have to leave campus, but if you do leave Spokane County, we're asking that you stay home after Thanksgiving break. So specific questions, you can also email newzags@gonzaga.edu, call the ZAG hotline, and this hotline is actually set up specifically for students who are new to Gonzaga. So, you know, you would almost all fit into that category. So, you know, we've got folks that are staffing that and ready to respond to questions that are specific to new ZAGs only. So, I think that's the slides that that I had. So, Justin, tell me how we should go about doing questions.
Sure. So let me open up the questions. And we'll just start. So I'll just read off the first question that I've got here. It's from Amelia. Amelia asked, earlier in the How to Zag section, there were more than 3 topics, but only 3 days. Will we all experience each How to Zag session? And if not, how do we know which ones we will attend? So I know that answer, so I'll take that. So the main sessions that were mentioned in that PowerPoint are actually the core How to Zag sessions, and everyone will get those throughout the actual weekend. So those will most likely happen on Saturday and Sunday of orientation week, and you'll have about 3 a day. So that's how you'll hit all 6 of those topics. If you move in on a certain day, so if your move-in assignment might be Wednesday, you might have an extra 1 or 2 sections for How to Zag that you get, but those are still being decided and determined, and that is not 100% sure if that will happen yet. But everyone will get those main 6 core sessions throughout the weekend, so you don't have to worry about that. And you'll actually go by that through a schedule, so you'll also receive a schedule which talks about you'll go to this session at this time, this session at this time, and so on.
I'm seeing a couple of questions in here about move-in day for honor students. We have decided that we want the honor students to participate in the rolling move-in for safety reasons. So please plan on the move-in day that you have received from housing. That is the day to move in, and as I said earlier, we're going to have a series of events. We'll repeat events over different days, so don't feel like if you've got a late move-in day, you'll be missing things. But this is a way to make sure that we can maintain healthy practices and social distancing, and make sure everyone is getting the kind of personal attention that you come to Gonzaga for. Yes, masks are going, Amelia, that is a great question. She's asking about masks being required and enforced. Look, all of the science that is coming out says that the way we keep a handle on this pandemic is by wearing masks. It's really important. They're uncomfortable. They're really hard to teach in. But this is a way, it's not about protecting yourself. It's not about the risk you're taking for yourself. It's about protecting the entire community. The Gonzaga community, the other honor students, the faculty, people in Spokane. So it's a practice we just have to accept and get used to. And masks will be required.
I also point out masks will be provided, so every student will be given a mask at or 2 masks actually when you check in for housing. So.
Okay, so we have a question from Joanne. Trying to secure travel arrangements. When should I arrive to Spokane? Do I just plan to arrive before my assigned move-in date, or will there be honors events prior to Friday, August 20th?
So we will have some honors events for the students who move in on Wednesday and Thursday. But if your assigned move-in date is Friday the 28th, you should plan on making your travel arrangements to be here for that move-in on Friday the 28th. And we're going to have, as I said, a sort of rolling series of events so you don't miss out.
Someone asked, is there a plan in place to enforce mask wearing? Matt, do you have an answer to that?
Yeah, we're talking about a variety of different things, all the way from social norming to actual more, enforcement, if you will, that would include using the student conduct system if needed. So yes, there is a plan both to roll out this expectation that zags wear masks, and that this is how one of the ways in which we practice caring for each other, and also recognize that there may be places and spaces where we need to use more than social norming or peer pressure to make that happen. So the quick answer is yes, but a variety of ways to get us to that point.
We had a question actually placed into the chat. That someone Dora asked, when will we receive our schedules and learn who is in our groups? So Dora, if you mean schedules for like your class schedule, that will get sent to you on August 1st from the Academic Advising and Assistance Office. So they will take care of that. For your orientation schedule, you'll receive that at orientation when you check in on your housing move-in date. And all students will be placed into their orientation groups, which we call small groups. You'll all be placed into those groups and you'll receive your small group leader sometime in early August. That is our goal, is to be able to give you all your group assignment at that time. Someone asked, when will we know which of our classes are online or in person?
Obviously, this is a situation that is constantly changing and in flux, and what the best practices to keep the entire community healthy and safe, those recommendations are changing. So we are keeping in contact with local and state health officials to make sure that we are in best practices. Our plan for the majority of honors classes and the majority of classes across campus is that we will be using what's called a hybrid model. So there will be some synchronous but virtual contact. There will be some face-to-face contact. And then there will be some sort of more traditionally just online contact in all of your classes. Obviously, some classes will be prioritized for being face-to-face. It's really hard to do some of the, say, dance performance classes remotely. Some classes work better in terms of being synchronous but online. So different classes are going to be taking slightly different models. And professors we're scrambling, to be honest. We're working right now trying to figure out what is the best way for us to deliver the kind of excellent education that we're known for, in honors the distinctive educational experience that we're promising you. We want to be in the classroom just as much as you do. I miss being in a classroom so much, and I know all of my faculty peers do as well, but we only want to do that in ways that are safe, which is a long way away around saying that is going to be to some extent flexible up until the day classes start, and potentially even after classes start. Faculty will communicate with you, and if you're starting to get nervous, you are welcome, once you get your schedule, to email the individual faculty members and ask them what we're saying modality, how they're planning to deliver the class content for you.
Thank you, Linda. Kat asks, if our move-in date is Wednesday or Thursday, will we have orientation sessions on the days we are not moving in? So yes, you will. So you'll actually be in orientation sessions after your move-in time. So when you actually move in, you'll have some things to do that evening. And then you'll be in orientation sessions on Thursday and Friday if you were to move in on Wednesday. And if you move in on Thursday, you'll have orientation sessions starting that Friday. So your full orientation schedule starts the day in the morning after you actually move in. Howard asks, if you're living off campus, when do you check in? Do you know this answer, Matt?
I do, but I was muted. One of the problems of Zoom. Yeah, Howard, we are asking that students who are living off campus check into new student orientation on Friday and begin your orientation experience on Friday. So that then that'll come out from first year experience once we've got housing and small groups exactly figured out. There are a lot of lists going around. We want to make sure we don't miss anybody, but you will be checking into orientation on Friday morning.
Someone asked, looking at COVID numbers for Spokane County, they are increasing significantly. Is there a threshold or plan for going to online learning if the numbers hit a certain point? Matt, do you know that?
I have not heard a threshold or a number or something that's that definitive. I know that the pandemic task force is in constant communication with folks from Spokane Regional Health and the governor's office in Washington State. And we are following governor's guidance as well as for the state reopening, as well as governor's guidance for higher education. And those are the things that are informing how we're making the decision at this point. But I have not heard if there are 12 cases on Tuesday, we're not coming. I mean, whatever that number is there, I've not heard it be stated that matter of factly.
I mean, I think it is fair to say that the Gonzaga values are that we care for each other, that the health and safety of every member of the community is of paramount importance, which is why I think we're not setting a firm threshold number, but instead trying to stay as flexible and as responsive as we can. But if it becomes clear that this is no longer a safe place to be, we're not going to make you be here. So I wanted to jump in with that. And we're interested in keeping ourselves safe and happy and healthy as well.
Nathan asked, is there a plan in place for the second semester? So is there a plan for the spring?
I think we're also playing that by year. I think we're all desperately hoping that there is a sort of more federal response to this pandemic by that point. We're watching the vaccines that are moving towards phase 3 trials carefully. So we would love everything to return to normal, full face-to-face in-person classes, but keeping a hybrid model in play if that's what needs to happen to stay safe. But I think I speak for everyone on this campus. As soon as it is safe to do so, we all want to be back in the classroom with everyone.
Someone said, I'm guessing that we should not hug our friends. Yes, unfortunately, you should not hug your friends. It's going to be really hard. I think a lot of people like that personal touch, right? And especially if you have a lot of friends, when you have a lot of friends, and if you're just a friendly person in general, it's going to be something that we all have to adjust. And you're going to have to do some air high fives, some air hugs, head nods, whatever that is. But in order to keep yourself safe, you want to limit as much physical contact as possible.
And then I just want to keep an eye on our time, but I did want to get to Elizabeth's question. We have made the decision to roll the honors bridge program, pre-orientation program into the rolling move-in. So there's no special time to get here early. Use the move-in date that housing has provided to you, but we are providing the honors specific events during those afternoon affinity sessions for you to join. So we'll still have a chance to get to know each other and start to bond as a community. We're just not doing it in a special earlier immersion program.
But I think, Elizabeth, you're also saying that you're participating in the Bridge program sponsored out of UMEC. And we'll make sure that you can do both and participate as fully as possible in both of those things. If I'm reading your question correctly, because there is still a Bridge pre-immersion program that's starting on Wednesday. Tuesday for students. So, yeah.
We're also working with the international students to make sure that they too can join the honors program and join the international student community. So we're doing our best to make sure that no one has to make difficult choices. So we have some current honors students who would love to get to know all of you. And facilitate a chance for you to get to know some of the other students in the honors group. So we're gonna start breaking you off into small groups if you're interested, just to get a chance to introduce yourself and meet a current honors student and some of your new friends, new honors classmates. Once we get you split off into small groups, we're going to end this webinar, so there's no need to come back to this. But we want to make sure that we thank you all for your time and your attendance and your interest. As I said earlier, we're really looking forward to meeting with you. And if you have any questions that are coming up, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You should all have my email, probably more than you want it at this point. And I'll do my best to get back to you quickly with correct answers. We will go ahead and post this Zoom meeting, and the Q&A will be part of that post.
And I can answer the questions that we haven't gotten to yet as a part of that, what's posted.
Okay. Great. So if I can ask the honor student leaders who are here to post your individual Zoom meetings up on the chat, make sure that you send it to all panelists. And I'm just going to read some names out. So listen for your name and look for the post. So Megan Rice is going to be meeting with, I'm just going to list last names, and I'm going to apologize now if I mispronounce anyone. I'm going to try to go fast. So if your last name is Rosenwald, Rupe, Shaber, Shearer, Schuler, or Schultz, please click on the link that Megan Rice just posted. If your last name is Fluker, Gamboa, Halbersleben, Hennian, Holden, or Hollander, please click on the link that Megan Dudinsky posted. If your last name is Acuff, Blanco, Brown, Burke, Bushnell, or Calceroa, please click on the link that Mary Claire has posted. If your last name is Chica, Childress, Colburn, Cooney, Elsenblast, or Figueroa, please click on the link that Elizabeth Monthofer has just posted. If your last name is Vandegon, Villalobos, Wilson, or Zinneker, please click on the link that Paloma Whitworth has posted. If your last name is Horton, Hudson, Hustis, Hunt, Imhoff, or Lindsay, please click on the link that Yuchen Huang has posted. If your last name is Linthicum, London, Marquise, Montoya, O'Shea, or Amat, please click on the link that Max Lungwagner has posted. If your last name is Patterson, Pfeiffer, Reed, Reinhold, Rickwa, or Robinson, please click on the link that Libby Monthofer has posted. And have I missed anyone? If I have not read your last name, would you post on the chat and let me know? Mary Claire's link just repost that for you. Yes, Caceres. If you could go with, yeah, if you could jump on the link with Mary Claire, that would be great. Elizabeth, who's? If I didn't read your name, or you can't find a link, just jump on someone else's small group. Okay, and I've got two more groups. So we've got two groups from Rachel Everd and Allison Bradis. So if your last name is, let's see. I guess at this point, if you haven't linked up with someone, just grab a link from Rachel Everd or Allison or Ali Bradis.
There will be a few folks still pondering in here.
Yep.
So Justin, will you be able to save these questions, or should I write an answer to them right now so that they get saved in the chat? What's the best way to handle the unanswered questions?
If you know the answers, Matt, it might just be easier to type them in.
Okay.
But they also should be saved, I believe.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and answer the one about fully remote options for the COVID situation.
And the honors reading list.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Linda, do you know how many of the honor, or Carrie, do you know how many of the honor students are not living in Tremont?
I don't. We're usually around 50%, but I haven't seen the list for this year.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know the answer for sure, but based off of just conversations with honor students, I'd say about half were interested in it and about half weren't. So I think it'll probably hold about that. Oh, Elizabeth is back in here with us.
Okay.
Can we help you with anything, Elizabeth?
Hey, Libby.
And Eric and Joanne, I posted in the chat, but are there questions that you still have? Are you waiting to be matched up with anybody, or maybe we have some parents in here too as possible? Okay, sorry, Eric. I think you could jump right in with Elizabeth Monthofer, I bet.
Yes.
She just posted her chat. So we hope you have a great conversation. I see it right above where you have written that.
Oh, I know. She did it to all panelists. Hang on.
Oh, yep, I see that.
Oh.
Thanks for your patience, Eric. Sorry about that.
There you go. Just the
Okay.
four.